George Kambosos can never be undisputed without this fight. So this is the fight to make. We're ready to go.
Breaking news, Vasyl Lomachenko is officially out of the George Kambosos fight, as recently Team Lomachenko petitioned to the Ukrainian government to seek if it's okay for Lomachenko to leave in order to start his training camp for George Kambosos. Well, that request has been denied, as the Ukrainian government believes that everyone should be treated equally. Therefore, Lomachenko is officially out of the picture for George Kambosos, according to my sources, with you guys hearing it before even old media hears the news, or receives the news, I should say. Nevertheless, we all know George Kambosos was begging Lomachenko to fight him and leave Ukraine. Well, guess what? Even Bob Arum now has told Team Kambosos to go ahead and move on. So the walls are closing in on George Kambosos, as the only fight he has on the table right now is the biggest fight of them all. Devin Haney for Undisputed, the Super Bowl bout of the entire division, which is the biggest legacy and money fight for George Kambosos as we speak. That's why Kambosos should have taken the Devin Haney fight from the jump. Lomachenko should have never been in the picture. It made no sense whatsoever why Kambosos was pursuing the Lomachenko fight, even though he had nothing to offer and he recently lost to Tio in a stinking fashion. However, we all know what time it is. It's all about that NBF, the NBF league in the sport of boxing. But guess what? Ducking season is over, and it's time for George Kambosos to be a man of his word. He continuously said he's either fighting Lomachenko or Devin Haney next. Now it's time for Kambosos to finally grow some cojones and do exactly that. We're not asking him to do something outside of the ordinary, like we done asked this man to do some suicide mission. Man, we asking him to do his job as a fighter. Better yet, honor his word like a man. Kambosos seen all of these signs telling him to do the right thing and fight Devin Haney. However, he still went against the grain. Now, the Devin Haney curse is brought down upon him. This is so reminiscent to the JoJo situation with Devin Haney. JoJo beat Fortuna to become Devin Haney mandatory. Then after that, he did everything in his power to get out of the Devin Haney fight. In fact, he actually did. Golden Boy announced that Ryan Garcia will officially be fighting Jojo Diaz. Then out of nowhere, Ryan Garcia pulls out of the fight, leaving Jojo Diaz without a dancing partner. So Devin Haney came and saved the day like Superman, where Jojo was forced to take the fight then. Fast forward to this day, Kambosos did exactly what Jojo did, and it backfired on him just like Jojo. According to Bob Arum, Kambosos had already agreed to a deal to fight Lomachenko in principle before Lomachenko left to Ukraine. And just like Ryan pulled out of the Jojo fight, Lomachenko also pulled out of the Kambosos fight due to the war in his country. Now George Kambosos is stuck and forced to fight the boogeyman, the A-class boogeyman, Devin the Dream Haney. Last but not least, George Kambosos' wife was caught using the N-word in a racist way. Therefore, if George Kambosos turns down the biggest offer of his life, essentially more money than he has made his entire career after Devin Haney even gave him the lion's share, the A-side, so on and so forth, just to make the fight happen. So if Kambosos still turned down the Devin Haney fight for all marvels and undisputed, it's more deeper than just ducking. That will tell us more about his character as a man, which is he simply doesn't want to fight Devin Haney because he doesn't want to lose to a black man in his own country, in Australia, because of his racial ways. And his wife is a living proof of that. You know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
Well, why should he? He's got to have the biggest fight possible, and you know, that's for the Undisputed.
Undisputed is more important than Lomachenko.
Of course it is. George Kambosos can never be undisputed without this fight.
I mean, Lou has to look out for his fighter. He's been a gentleman in all of this, and there's always tomorrow. so Kambosos can get another opponent and hopefully wins, and then can fight Loma later in the year, assuming the conflict has been resolved.